Hey folks, it's Nate. It's time I got back to the drawing board, and tonight we're going to look at The Futurists, the second of three inaugural offerings from Allegiance Comics that we'll be examining. I have already made a video on why we're not looking at the fourth, so if you're interested in that, you can look at the video Allegiance Arts versus Red Rooster. I cover some of my thoughts on that subject there, and I also mentioned some of the influence that it may have on my review of the Allegiance Arts titles. That said, let's go ahead and have a look at this title, because that's what really interests us tonight. Let's start with the form factor. It's pretty good looking. It's just like all the other Allegiance books. It's on good paper stock. It's got a nice cover. It's got a very minimalist back. Each of the Allegiance Arts backs has one of these symbols on it that seems to represent a theme or a brief summary of each of these comics. And for the Futurists, it's this broken compass, which is very interesting. And I mean, there's not a whole lot more to say about it. It's your typical floppy, except unfortunately it's $1 more. And that is a mark against it, in my opinion. I mean, we're not getting a huge quality upgrade in the paper stock. We're not getting a huge quality upgrade in the length, because it is about 20 pages, as your typical comic is. So the real question is, does something in the art or the story justify a higher price point than other comics that you might get at your comic shop? And that's going to vary title by title. And with the Futurists, well, we'll get into that. Let's go ahead and have a look at the art. And as you can probably tell by the cover alone, the art in this book is fantastic. I mean, it's really amazing. Look at this opening two-page spread with this, amazing house in the background with all these skulls and bones and warning fetishes and whatnot scattered around it. We have this crew coming in and a horse-drawn carriage, and man, every page, well, maybe not quite every page, but just about every page is that good. This art, here's another, I mean, look at this page. This is amazing. Great detail on the stone in the background, or at least enough texture to really give you a sense of what the landscape is like in this place. Presumably this is somewhere in India. We have the Raj here and many of the British soldiers, probably circa approximately 1880s, or at least that's the feel that they're going for. We'll quickly see that there's no direct correlation to our world as we know it. But yeah, this art is great. Fantastic art. I love just about every page in this book. And I was so blown away by the art reading this. I cannot think of a single thing I would recommend be better done. And it really hurts me to now have to tell you that the story in this book is incomprehensible. I really don't know what exactly is supposed to be going on in the story. I'm sorry to say. Let's go back to the beginning. Here we have like this great introduction, and we have these people going to see kind of a witch doctor, and he does a seance, and it's really hard to tell. I cannot tell whether this wizard is a fraud or the genuine article. And some of the things that we see later on suggest he might be the genuine article, but he seems almost as surprised as anyone else when he, in the middle of the seance, somebody actually starts speaking through one of his guests, and I honestly don't know if any of these guests are important or not, and I don't know if this wizard is important or not. Really, the only character I can say with confidence is important is this guy here in the purple hood, because he's on the cover. He's actually this guy right here. And something has happened to this guy. He's apparently as old as his partner here, partner in crime with a white beard. And he's youthed himself somehow. He's gotten younger, and he's views this as a curse because he's been cursed with awesome. He wants to talk to this eyeball in a jar on top of a skull because it's some kind of an oracle, and he wants to... There's all kinds of exposition in here. I don't know anything about the character. I don't know why I should care about him. I don't know what the stakes are of his problem. It's just thrown at us. Honestly, the seance at the beginning is weird and I could frankly have done without it because I can't tell what it was supposed to tell me about any of the characters or the stakes or the situation at all. I would like to get to know this guy more since he's clearly important to the story, and I think he's the character we're actually supposed to care about in this whole sequence. The second half of the story is a little more comprehensible. It follows this kilt-wearing gentleman from the British forces, and they find a coffin in some kind of a religious site or tomb or something like that, and they open it, and this demon guy pops out, and he starts killing all of the British soldiers there. And again, it's hard to tell what's going on. I don't know anything about the captain. I know he's fighting for his life, so that gives us some clear stakes, and that makes the second half a little bit better than the first half, story-wise. But oh, and there is a kind of a clever bit where he kicks gunpowder to blow up this demon and put him down. So, I mean, that part is a little bit entertaining. But beyond that, I don't know who any of these characters are, what they're trying to accomplish, other than not get killed by this demon guy, and where their story might go. By the end, this officer here with the mustache is trying to execute Kilt Guy for some kind of being a traitor or doing a crime or something. But I honestly just don't have enough context to figure out who's doing what, why they're doing it, and why I should care. And unfortunately, that makes the Futurists a book I can't really recommend to anyone, and I certainly don't intend to buy the second issue. The art is fantastic. It is just great, and I wish the story could pull me in for another issue, but it can't. I don't think it justifies a $5 price tag in any way, shape, or form, and that's too bad because, I mean, there's a lot of visual ideas here. There's great appeal in the look of the book, but it's not enough. I can't really justify, $5 out of my entertainment budget every month to read this comic because I just really don't care about any of the characters. And yeah, it's unfortunate. A really great looking book. I think that the story could have used a little more time in the oven to really establish characters' motivations, their desires, why we empathize with them, something like that. Rather than, I mean, the in media res beginning is great, but this story seems to do it twice and not give us anything we need after the in media res beginning to build sympathy and understanding of the situation and the characters. And honestly, that kills it for me, which is too bad because, I mean, just look at it. There's so much visually appealing about this book. I think it really emphasizes that, comics get a lot of their initial appeal from visuals, but they have to have more to them than that to hold an audience. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed that. Hopefully you found it useful for understanding this book and whether you might like to buy it. If you did like it, there's a like button and subscribe button down below. You can use them as you see fit, and I'll talk to you later.